hello. Welcome back. And obviously I'm giving, I decided to wear white today because I kind of wanted to give you guys a little glimpse of what it would look like to have a beautiful woman like me just walk down the aisle. So, um, you're welcome for giving you that glimpse because I know a lot of you were asking for it. I know you were dreaming about it, so I just had to make the dream come alive. But anyways, let's get into the video because we have a lot to discuss. Okay, all right. Welcome to the Shakira Miriam Show. I am your host, Shakira Miriam, and today, child, we will be discussing this video that has been circulating on TikTok. Okay, there is a light-skinned woman who made a video expressing her experiences as a lighter girl with 4C hair. And a lot of people were upset about what she said. A lot of people related to what she said. And I wanted to talk about it because there was a lot to unpack. And we have to have an honest conversation about our natural hair. And I think this video woke up the honest conversation. So let's get into her video and we will talk about it.
I would like to speak on something. I know it can be like a touchy subject, but I want to talk about this because this is a struggle that I have had with my confidence ever since I can fucking remember. I am a very confident person, but the one thing I'm insecure about is my natural hair. Like, I feel like my natural hair is 4C. Like, it's coily, okay? And it shrinks so bad.
Now, I want y'all to pay attention to the language that she uses in this video because it tells you a lot about how she feels about her natural hair. I mean, she did start off the video saying that she's very insecure about her natural hair. But when she describes it, you can tell that she doesn't like the fact that her natural hair is coily. She doesn't like the fact that it shrinks so bad. Why would your hair shrinkage be a bad thing to you? So pay attention to how she articulates her words in this video, okay? But let's continue.
And I've been getting relaxers ever since I was a child. I went natural for a couple of years and I just could not bring myself to be comfortable with my natural hair. And I just feel like, as especially like within our community, obviously there's texturism, but I also feel like this is gonna sound so like kind of privileged, but I don't have to say it, but I just struggle with this. I feel like as a light-skinned black woman, I don't fit the beauty standard because of the texture of my hair. Like, I just don't feel confident when I wear my natural hair texture. Like, I don't at all. So I've always gotten relaxers and I've always worn my hair in protective styles. Obviously, I know it's detrimental to think, and I know it's detrimental to our community, and it's a very privileged thing to say in comparison to the problems that brown skin and darker skinned women have to go through. I'm very aware of that. That's just one of my personal struggles. And I just wanted to say that because, yeah, texturism.
So there's a lot to unpack with what she said. And I want to start off with her explaining that she's not confident with her natural hair. And she's gotten relaxers and she wore her hair natural for a few years and she couldn't bring herself to be comfortable with her natural 4C hair. Now, don't shoot me. I know a lot of dark skinned women looked at that video and were put off by it, and I can see why. But the part about her expressing that her 4C hair has messed with her confidence, that experience I cannot invalidate. The reason I cannot invalidate it is because 4C hair is not exclusive to dark-skinned women. 4C hair can come about from any Black person. So there are light-skinned Black people who do have 4C hair. And texturism is an issue. It's a very real issue. And when you have 4C hair, you will experience texturism, no matter what skin tone you are. So when she talks about how it took her a long time to love her natural hair and she's still on the journey, she doesn't love her 4C hair, I relate as a dark skinned woman with 4C hair. And I'm sure many Black women who have 4C hair relate to this exact experience. So I'm not going to invalidate that. Now, where she went wrong was her choice of wording. When she said, as a light skinned Black woman, I feel like I don't fit the beauty standard because of my 4C hair. Now, the problem with that statement is yes, you have 4C hair. So it is very true that most times when people think of light skinned Black people, they're imagining Zendaya. They're imagining typically a mixed person. Oftentimes, when people think of light skinned Black people, they're thinking of Zendaya or they're thinking of Lotto or, like Ice Spice. Like they're thinking of the light skinned girls with the loose curl pattern, right? So I see what she's saying from a texturism standpoint that even though you have the light skin, your 4C hair does affect you due to texturism. But we have to understand texturism and colorism are two different issues. Yes, they stem from racism, but they're still two different issues. So even though you as a light-skinned woman struggle to love your 4C hair and you get ridiculed for your 4C hair, you are still light-skinned. So you as a light-skinned Black woman, you still fit the beauty standard because you are light-skinned, regardless of if you have 4C hair. Think about it like this, right? Imagine a white person came up and said, I feel like I don't have white privilege. I don't. And the reason I think I don't have white privilege is because I'm overweight. And the European beauty standard says you have to be skinny, you have to be blonde, and you have to have blue eyes to be the epitome of beauty. And if you don't fit into that box, then you don't fit into the European beauty standards. So me being an overweight white girl, I just think I don't have white privilege. A lot of us would side eye that because we would be like, okay, yeah, you are overweight, and that's a body image issue. And that's a very real issue. Overweight women do get treated differently compared to skinny women. That is very true. However, you're still white. You're overweight, but you are still white. The whiteness didn't go away once you put the weight on. You're still white. So you still have white privilege. And I think when this girl made this video, I listen, I pay attention to intent a lot. And I've been trying to look at people's intent before I speak on them because oftentimes people's intent is not actually the outcome. And I don't think this girl really intended to offend anybody. I genuinely think she was trying to speak on her experience. But because she's a light skinned Black woman, she's always going to speak on colorism from the outside looking in. So she doesn't fully understand, like she understands colorism, but you don't fully understand something until you actually experience it. I can understand how a rich person lives, but I don't really understand the emotions that they go through every day. I don't experience the interactions that they go through every day because I'm not in their position. I'm not a rich person. So I say that because oftentimes when we want to invite light-skinned women into the conversation of colorism, it always feels like they're playing oppression Olympics with dark-skinned women. And I don't think this girl intended to do that. I don't think she intended to do that, but that's how it came off. Because when you say, as a light-skinned Black woman, I feel like I don't fit the beauty standard because of my 4C hair, dark-skinned women receive that as a light-skinned Black woman with 4C hair, I don't have light skin privilege. I go through the same shit you and you darkies go through. That's what we hear. That's what most dark-skinned women heard from this video. Because that's how it came off. Now, I'm not saying she intended to say it like that, but that's how it came off. And I don't want light-skinned people to feel like you're not a part of the colorism conversation, or you're not a part of conversations that pertain to the Black community. And I know sometimes you can feel iced out because sometimes people do silence your experience because the messenger is a light-skinned person who doesn't go through colorism. So people automatically invalidate the experience because it's not colorism. It's always pertaining to bullying. But the problem is when light-skinned people, when we invite light-skinned people to these conversations, it's like they try to equate their experience with dark-skinned women. And that's when dark-skinned women get put off, and that's when we get defensive. Because dark-skinned women have been gaslighted for so long. And every time we speak on our experience, people try to downplay it as if it's not as bad as it actually is. So when we have a light-skinned Black woman saying, oh, because of my 4C hair, I just feel like I don't have light skin privilege, in a way, you're equating your experience to those who are darker skinned. And dark skinned women get put off by that because it feels like you're downplaying our experience, because we know that we go through worse than you, but you're trying to make it seem like your experience is the same as ours. Your trauma is the same as ours, and it's not. So, like, for example, when we have the conversation about colorism and light-skinned people say, I went through colorism because so many girls in my school bullied me because I was light-skinned. That right there is trying to equate your experience to dark-skinned women. It's trying to equate the trauma of dark-skinned women's experience to yours when it's not the same experience. Because what you're experiencing is bullying. That's not colorism. And when dark-skinned people hear it, we get so put off because we know you're not speaking on an experience that we go through. You're speaking on something that you go through, but that's not us. We go through something way worse. And you trying to make it seem like me and you go through the same thing, you're downplaying the harshness of my struggle. So then when we speak up about dark-skinned women's struggle, people don't actually think it's as bad as how it actually is, because they're equating it to their own experience as a light-skinned person with 4C hair. You see what I'm saying? Or they're equating it to being a light-skinned person that got bullied. And we have to understand those are not the same thing. I could bully a white person for being white. I could bully a white person just because I'm mad about the fact that he has white privilege and I don't. But at the end of the day, no matter how much bullying I do, his socioeconomic status is still above mine because he's white. No matter how much I bully him for being white, yes, it's prejudice, yes, it's wrong, he's still white and I'm still Black. So his privilege still stands, even though I'm bullying him. Because bullying does not equate to systemic privilege. It does not equate to systemic oppression. So we try to have these conversations as a collective, but it's hard when light-skinned people invalidate dark-skinned people's experiences by equating their experiences to ours when they're not the same. Now, on the other hand, what that causes is dark skinned people to silence light skinned people because we're tired of hearing y'all complain about a privilege that you walk in. So then when light skinned people start speaking up about other experiences that they go through as a black person, such as texturism, there are already dark skinned people ready to silence her and say, girl, we don't want to hear it. I'm sure there were dark skinned people who watched her video and 5 seconds in, they were already like, girl, I don't even want to hear it. So then when a light skinned person shares their experience, they feel invalidated. And then it's as if the colorism conversation is not going anywhere because no one is conversating. Conversating is conversing. No one's conversing. Dark skinned people are shutting light skinned people down because we're tired of hearing about the complaining of your privilege. And light skinned people are shutting dark skinned people down because they're invalidating our experience. And then it just goes in a loop and goes in a loop. And then the issue continues and it lives long and strong. Crocky. I hope that girl does find her self-love. And I hope that she does grow to love her 4C hair because that girl is very, very beautiful. Very beautiful. When I saw her video, I was already stunned by her face. I was like, damn, face card. So she's very beautiful, and I really hope she grows to love her 4C hair. And I hope all Black women grow to love your 4C hair because, and I'm tearing up only because this is emotional for me because it literally took me like 20 years to love my 4C hair. And it's sad that we live in a world where Black women really, most of us don't like our hair. And I just feel like this has been an issue for so many years that we haven't been able to get over. We're always using perms, we're always using wigs. It's sad that Black women have to go on a self-love journey and they actually have to like put in side work to love their 4C hair while other groups of women just grow up already loving it because society told them that their hair was already beautiful from the jump. So it also upset me that even a light-skinned woman as beautiful as her, who clearly fits the beauty standard, still feels insecure because of her 4C hair. It's like, I want better for Black women. I want Black women to understand the power in your hair. I want Black women to understand that society makes you hate your hair because of how powerful it is. You have tight coils. Tight coils receives electromagnetic waves from the sun the most, meaning you receive energy from the sun the most and the strongest more than anybody. Your 4C hair is very, very powerful. I don't think Black women understand your hair is very unique. Nobody has hair like 4C hair. Literally, nobody's hair grows up but us. We have very unique hair. And if Black women understood the beauty and power behind their natural 4C hair and owned it, we would be unstoppable, one. And two, we would change the trajectory of the beauty standards in society because we do set the trends. But the problem is most Black women don't love their hair. So the trend for Black women is to relax their hair and get wigs. But if majority of Black women woke up one day and said, I'm going to just rock my 4C hair, it would become normalized at some point. Society would have to accept it. And society would come to realize those group of women are the only women who have hair like that. No matter what I do, I cannot mimic hair like that. You see how when Black women get braids, the white girls want to go get braids? You think Kim K can mimic my 4C hair? No. That's what y'all are not getting. Your hair is so unique, nobody can mimic it. And if you owned it, you would be unstoppable because nobody else would be able to copy it. And people would have to sit in their jealousy because they have to sit with the fact that no matter what they do, they can't have hair like yours. You can manipulate your hair to look like a white girl's, but they can't manipulate their hair to look like yours. That's why they've convinced you that your hair is ugly. Because they don't want you to own something that they can't do. They want to be able to take everything. They want to be able to copy after every trend. If it's something they can't replicate, they have to shut it down. That's why back then they made the Tingin laws and made black women cover their hair. Because they were stealing white girls' husbands with them. And the white girls were sitting there like, damn, there's absolutely nothing I can do to make my hair look coily, curly, and flowy like that. Nothing. No curling iron in the world is going to replicate that. Most of the time, the saying is, if you can't beat them, join them. But when it comes to 4C hair, they can't beat us and they can't join us either. So that's why they had to shut the shit down. And that's why 4C hair is regarded as undesirable. But that doesn't mean that's reality. And the quicker you realize that, the quicker you will start to grow a lot of self-love.
Clock it.
So even though this video did upset a lot of people, I'm happy that she made it because it did wake up this conversation that we needed to have. It did. And it also made me come to realize that a lot of the times the way we navigate these conversations are not healthy. So to my light-skinned women, you can speak on your experience, just don't invalidate anybody else's, and don't equate yours to people who struggle more than you. And to my dark-skinned people, don't always be so quick to be dismissive to other people in the community that don't look like you. Because yes, even though they don't share the same exact experience as you, they're still Black people who can face other issues besides colorism, such as racism, texturism, and featureism. I'm going to give you an example. Say, I tell somebody I go through colorism and they're like, well, honestly, you just need to shut the fuck up because you benefit from featureism anyways. So what the fuck? Like, shut up. It's like, okay, damn. I do benefit from featureism. But I'm still dark skinned. I still go through colorism now. Like, damn. Don't silence me. Like, I still want to speak on my experience with colorism. That's how some light-skinned people feel when they want to speak on other experiences that they go through in the community besides colorism. But more oftentimes, dark-skinned people are very quick to dismiss them. And I understand why. We have a wall up because we're gaslighted so much. But sometimes we can put that wall down so we can actually have honest conversations. Because at the end of the day, colorism, even though it only affects dark-skinned people, it's an issue within the Black community. And the only way we're going to solve it is if we speak to the entire Black community. If we're only talking to dark-skinned people about colorism, we're not really going to go far with the issue because we're only speaking to the people who are oppressed. We're not speaking to the people who benefit. We're not speaking to the people who perpetuate it. So we have to have these conversations with the entire community. But light-skinned people, you have to create a safe space for us to invite you to have these conversations. Because the minute you start invalidating and equating your experience, that's the minute dark-skinned people are turned off and they want to dismiss you and silence you. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm just saying. So, with that being said, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Shakira, aka Shakira Merriam, and I talk about colorism, texturism, and featureism. And I really, really hope, to my Black women that listen to this video, I really hope you grow to just love yourself as a Black woman, because you are a very powerful being and they don't want you to know that. And I wish we didn't have to go through these natural hair struggles, but unfortunately, we live in a society where we do. But we can overcome it. We really can. We just have to be honest with ourselves and we have to hear each other. Okay. But I love you guys and I will see you guys very soon. Besos.